I tried to film this morning because I wanted to give a different setting than my car, but my mom showed up early to babysit the kids while I went to work, so I didn't get a chance to. So we are in the van, and I finished brushing out all the dreads. They're gone. Anyway, so I got a question on Instagram the other day that I thought was really good, and I wanted to make it into a YouTube video. And the question was, when do I still hear Ed thoughts, and what are those Ed thoughts I still hear? Before I tell you the Ed thoughts I still hear, I want to tell you the thoughts I don't hear anymore and the things I don't do anymore. So I don't scroll Pinterest for the healthiest foods or for the next weight loss, exercise, or drink or anything like that. I don't plan to restrict. I don't think, okay, I'm gonna not eat this tomorrow and like have those thoughts in my head. I don't plan times to binge and purge before I'd like need to rearrange my schedule and figure out when people wouldn't be home and how I could get people to leave and how I'd get like my private time to binge and purge. I don't plan after I eat. I don't think, oh, I should throw up. So I don't think those anymore. The thoughts I still do have are, let's see, I still hear Ed is the eating disorder. Ed, when I go to eat, telling me I should eat that because it's healthier, or if I'm gonna eat that, I shouldn't eat that much. I still hear Ed when I catch glimpses of myself in the mirror. I'm pretty good when I look at the mirror to like consciously push Ed aside and just like look at the outfit I'm wearing and make sure it matches and then leave. But if I just happen to like glance myself, I teach yoga at one studio with a mirror, and every once in a while when I unintentionally see myself in the reflection, my like guard is down and I'll hear Ed being like, you look whatever. I still hear Ed if I overeat. I don't overeat because I don't restrict, so there is no limits on how much I can eat, but I'll hear Ed come in and be like, well, maybe you should work out, like we're not purging anymore through vomit, but maybe you should work out a lot tomorrow. So those thoughts still do come up. However, it is not constant. In the beginning of recovery, this has been a process, right? A almost 9-month process of the Ed thoughts starting to leave because I'm not giving them as much power. Before, if I ever heard an Ed thought, I would have to act. I remember the first time I was in treatment, and I would like be with my therapist, and then I'd meet with my dietitian, and we would talk about like my meal plan and all that stuff, and then I'd be driving home and I'd be all set on like I'm in recovery now, and then I would drive past like Taco Bell and I would have the thought like, oh my gosh, I should go order everything and then binge and purge. And because I had that thought, I could not do anything else but go to Taco Bell and engage in the eating disorder. So that has totally changed. I don't have those thoughts anymore driving, first of all, but when I have the thought like, oh, you should eat this healthy option instead of this other thing that you really want, just because I have the thought, I hear Ed, it doesn't mean I have to act on that thought. And so that has been really, really huge. Just because I see myself in the mirror and think like I look a little bit fuller, it doesn't then mean I have to restrict. So Ed thoughts are still present, but I don't have to act on them, and they are starting to go away. I wanted to say one more thing. Oh, and the frequency of those Ed thoughts. So when I get stressed, the Ed thoughts come more, because when I'm stressed, like my whole life when I've been stressed, my answer has been turn to food, because then the outside stressors, the volume will get lower. So that's been like an ingrained habit. It's an ingrained neurological groove in my brain. So when I get stressed, like we're trying to sell our house right now, and that's a big stressor. And so the Ed thoughts are louder, like they're more frequent. But I'll have days where I go like all day without having an Ed thought, or multiple days without having an Ed thought. And then some days I'll have like 10 Ed thoughts that day, 20 Ed thoughts that day, probably not more than 20. Before it was like thousands. Like the only thing my brain thought of was Ed, because Ed was like the main driver of my brain. Through the process of recovery, I'm pushing Ed out of my brain and I'm in the driver's seat. So the thoughts are a lot less frequent too. So I hope that gives you some hope. Unfortunately, I think with eating disorders, it's so black and white. Like we can want it to be like, well, I'm in the eating disorder, so when I'm in recovery, the eating disorder will completely be gone. And what I found with life in general is it's not black and white. There's this gray area. And so it's this, even though the ed thoughts are still present, I'm not in my eating disorder, and I'm like moving that process, that lever over into like a healthier place, which is really the middle. Because when I'm in my eating disorder over here, which is like, let's say black, and this is like fully my life run on the eating disorder, Ed is making all the decisions, I'm isolating, I hate myself, like my only thing I care about is losing weight, that's black. And then over here is white, where it's like I eat perfectly and I don't have any Ed thoughts, and I love myself like all the time, and I totally accept like everything in my life, and I'm just like so full and solid in recovery, and life is like absolutely perfect because the eating disorder is gone. Like, I don't think that is healthy either, and that's what I'm coming to learn, because before that's how my brain thought, like yes or no. Yes, eating disorder, no eating disorder. And what I'm learning is that like life really happens in the middle, and that if I went all the way over to white, like this is how my eating disorder turned into orthorexia, because I tried to eat so perfectly and clean, and that kept Ed alive in a different way. So it's really being here and like learning that I can have bad body image days, but that doesn't mean I'm not in recovery, and my life is here and it's a little bit more messy and it's not perfect, and that that's okay. And embracing that Ed thoughts might not ever fully go away. That's a big hang up I had, is I thought that like eventually I'd get to a place where I had no Ed thoughts, and I think that that was kind of detrimental to my mental health. I still have hope that it can go away a lot more. The thoughts can be less present and they can bother me less, but I am trying to embrace like the gray of life instead of this black and white thinking. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you, and I really enjoyed answering that question. So if you have any other questions that you'd like me to answer, or anything else you want to know about my life, I really want to grow this channel and have it be helpful to other people, because watching YouTubers who are going through eating disorder recovery saved me in the beginning. I would just constantly have those videos playing, because if I didn't have them playing, I would just be listening to the Ed that was still in my brain. And so I'd really like to be able to be that voice for someone else who's struggling or going through that process now. So if I can help in any way, let me know. And then look at how long my hair is. Whoa, this is the longest my hair has ever been. It's like down to my low back. I'm dreading that I'm going to have to see a hairdresser soon. I have a feeling they're going to be like, well, you have split ends like all the way up here, so we should like really cut it short. So anyways, who knows what's going to happen. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.